What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Almost Never podcast. I'm your co-host, Josh. This week, we're talking about Kanye's new album, Vultures. What do you guys think? We're talking about Joe Budden versus the Streamers. We're talking about the song Sunflower going double diamond. Shout out Posty and Sway. We're talking about the Super Bowl. Who's going to win this year? The Niners or Taylor Swift's boyfriend? We're talking about the Grammys and Killer Mike. Best rap album? Thanks for watching, everybody. You can catch us next week. Thanks for all your likes, comments, and subscriptions. You can catch us on all of the popular social media platforms at Almost Never Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And you can listen to us on all your favorite DSPs.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely
Hey, buddy.
Oh, we're going. Oh, we going.
We going.
Where we going? I don't know it. Hey, baby saying, yeah, I'm throwing it. Hey, baby throwing, yeah, I'm throwing it. She put me up, she moving it. Hey, throwing that ass everywhere.
Kanye should have had you.
Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Almost Never podcast. And for our friends celebrating Lunar New Year, Jinyan Kwale, I believe that's how you say it.
Hell
Explain
yeah.
Lunar New Year?
It's just like Chinese New Year.
Because they have a different calendar, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I believe it's February 10th through February 24th.
I mean, the calendar's the same, but it lines up different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm your co-host, Josh, at Dearest Rat on Instagram. This is our man who is wise beyond his years, Sean, at Sean Corey Pickering on Instagram, and our resident musical polyglot, Trey, at Doja the Producer. Welcome.
Thank you.
That was nice. That was illustrious. Thank you.
The cool thing about Chinese New Year, just real quick, it's a month long, from the 21st of January to the 20th of February, and it's just a party. Like, their New Year's is a month-long party.
So is it New Year all that time?
It's
a celebration.
yeah,
It's a celebration.
beginning of the New
I almost
Year
called
on the
out.
traditional luni-solar Chinese calendar.
That's dope. And then does that change the animals and stuff too?
Yes.
So it's a new animal, ushering in a new animal.
Year of the Dragon.
Oh, it's Year of the Dragon now. What was it last year?
Rabbit, I think.
Yeah, I'll get you that info.
I think it was rabbit.
Do you know what yours is?
No, I don't know what I don't know what my birth year is. No, but I think last year was the rabbit though. Maybe
Dog?
Rabbit.
yeah,
The man.
I wasn't throwing it. Yeah, I was like, I'm tapped in.
I'm a Year of the Rat. I'm a wood rat,
Wow.
specifically.
You're the rat.
You're
So what's the year after you guys?
I'm an ox.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
So you'd be the year after.
Wow. This is going to hype you up too much.
I'm a tiger.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Why'd you? I don't know it until
I
they
didn't know
ask
it,
me.
But I'm like, my like spirit
yes.
and yeah,
I
I'm
will
tiger,
wait
dude.
until they ask.
Tony the Tiger, man. I knew it.
Wow.
That's cool. That's dope.
Tiger boy.
Tiger boy.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, like, it's different than, regular astrology, but to look up the qualities for each animal for the.
That's cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost got the drop. I missed it on those. Because I wanted to because the resale was already
Which
up on
ones?
them. The Year of the Dragon. They were
Air Max?
MJs. No, they were
J1s?
Yeah, they were J1s. They were like had the scale green on them. I knew is that they were like 160, but they were already on go
Resale?
for like 300 or like I was like
Resale game's been taking a hit though.
Those are hard because, like, once you get it, if you don't sell it, like, right away,
Big hit.
you'll like, it'll lose 50% value within, like, after a week.
do you usually buy a really small size or a really big size for your resale because there's less people that are going
Small.
for those? Or do you
I buy my size because 11 and a halfs are actually very, very rare. Like, it's in shoes, notoriously, like, they make a very small amount compared to, like, I think 7.5 to 10.5 is the biggest range. And so 11 and a half, but a lot of people wear them, especially like with, I guess, shoe collectors, basketball players and stuff. Like, they always.
I heard 7 to 8.5 though. Just go because it's basically men and women.
and women, yeah.
Big kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Shout out Ryan, right? 8.5.
and Miguel,
Shout out
but then
Small
that's
Big
like
Rain.
a lot of a high schooler can wear that.
Yeah,
A woman,
yeah,
there's a lot of
growing up.
a
Somebody,
lot of people fit that shoe size, so it's like those.
I believe the average
sizes
foot
that go-
size for women's like 7.5. That's the most common one. So it'd be like a 6 in
Like these
guys.
6 in
So
guys,
that'd be an easy cop for if you're getting
6,
men's
yeah.
sizes.
did you ever buy any pair that like were meant for
Resale?
but you never got to resell them, so now you have them?
I
you
actually
have
have a
the-
pair of the Kith X-Men ones, like the blind box where it could like have that one of one, like I don't know, Wolverine card, but I still haven't opened them, and those are size 7.5. So
Oh shit!
Do you? You have a pair you haven't worn, right?
Me no. No, I wore them. They were the black.
The
They were
black ones.
the black, blue, and red. I
I don't have one that I was gonna. I choose. I got when I buy a shoe, I want to wear it, but the Palominos I still haven't worn because I was just an impulse buy. 'Cause
I was
didn't even
thinking about that
like
the other
them.
day. I was
I
like,
don't even like high tops.
that's crazy.
how can you hate? How can you hate on mids then if you don't even wear your high tops? You're just like following the crowd. Wow,
You're
Just-
10?
That just tells me a lot.
10, 10 and a half.
Are those 10s? Or are they 10 and a halfs?
10 and a half. Mm-hmm. 10 and a half.
Yeah.
Haven't even laced them, bro. Brand spanking.
You only have one more month of the season to wear them in California at least. Then you're gonna be out of the. It's gonna be too springy for that dark of
for
a
that dark,
tone.
for the
I forgot. I think I've only worn those like
won once,
maybe
like,
once or
yeah.
twice.
They were cool shoes, but yeah, I just don't. I don't like to wear the high tops, like in general.
I think they're actually pretty comfortable, but it's just like even though it only takes like a couple minutes, like they're just
Break
a pain to
them
put
in.
on.
Oh, the ankles.
I'm okay with putting them on. It's taking them off the highs because I usually am a person that wants
try
to
to
just like
kick up
kick
your
them.
shoes
Yeah,
and
you know, or
relax
just
your
like a
feet.
quick little. Those aren't. You gotta sit down and like.
That's what you grew up wearing Vans. We were just like,
Yeah. Which is also why the backs of them were already destroyed.
and you
Yeah,
never
just
had to
like people-
retie them. You tie them one time and they're tied
That's
for
it.
their life.
You're good. Forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
How's your guys' week? We survived the atmospheric rivers. It was dumping in Los Angeles. The LA River was flowing.
That shit was crazy. It looked like it was.
It was like at the
the top.
banks,
Yeah.
like, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it was
The LA
pretty
River
buck.
looked insane.
Yeah.
How was it over here?
I never seen it that high. I think in my life.
Yeah, I mean it was like
No flooding.
raining. I think Marlene was coming home. She said like parts of La Brea were closed. Like
Flooded.
I think so because like there's an area like if you're going down to Inglewood, near like Stalker Street and stuff. It's like very much like surrounded by. It's just roads and then there's like
Is it flat?
greenery and stuff on the side.
You know South 71 Euclid, right?
Yeah.
Washed away. Not the
But
road
it
washed-
was.
They had to close the.
Yeah.
Because too much
Yeah.
water on the road.
Because it's a marsh right there.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
yeah,
so-
which is super weird. You know,
Wetlands.
that's a state park too.
Yeah.
Randomly. Yeah.
Right next to the golf.
Yeah.
El Dorado.
Yeah.
Or El Prado. El Prado.
On Wednesday, I think it was, the 405 for a bit was closed because it was
Closed.
flooded, and they had to wait for the water to, do its thing. It's definitely like there's areas. I mean, it clears up pretty quick generally once it stops, but our system's not made to take that much of rain like that quickly. I know San Diego got flooded. They had like water up to the car kind of flooded thing.
I saw.
Yeah.
I was working in the rain. That sucked.
Ooh.
What they have you doing?
We had to go pressurize a tank. We had to go test the tank. So it was basically like all the city was out there and all the big wigs were out there in the rain, pressurizing and testing a new tank. Which they actually, my bosses hit me up to have Alex make hats.
Oh, really? So you're staying around.
No,
Last man standing.
I mean, business hats. I'm guessing that's what they're for.
they're for
Company?
the opening of the water plant.
Oh, got you.
That's what we're
Ooh.
doing. It's about to be the
Got
opening.
merch
so-
drop right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so he wants to be all bougie and have like, I don't know.
You
but-
should.
Yes,
It'd be really funny if like you just threw a fake Supreme on that.
Oh my god. No, but yeah, so he's had me hit up Alex to make hats for the grand opening of the brand new water plant.
That's exciting. Do they cut? Is there a?
Basically,
I mean, I'd be stoked if somebody asked me to cut a ribbon. Hopefully,
I mean they always do that for water, like a brand new water plant. They basically do that. It's the city, you know what I
Yeah.
I mean, it's heavy infrastructure right there.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah,
very
facts.
vital part of.
pretty damn important.
Yeah.
Every time I drive up the 405, I think it is with the
Anywhere
giant, but the
use
giant one
tanks,
in
yeah.
in Long Beach.
Oh.
And I'm just like, I hope everyone realizes that our whole like livelihood is
And
based
there's
off of this
those
water
just
plant.
hidden in every city, dude. Like
Yeah,
little plant
little
stations.
plants.
There's a bunch in the like, or there's a couple in the big ones in the South Bay that do like,
Huge.
they do like that isn't the opposite of light work because that's
In some cities, they make them look like faux different things too, so you would never know.
Oh, where that it's there.
They've had some that they've made look like actual like apartments.
Oh, there's one off of. They did it off of.
Yeah, it's running around here. I think that one's an
La Brea.
electrical. That's an electrical thing because they had the towers.
Do you remember the old Samsung building off of La Brea and oh shit?
you're talking about Wilton, or I mean La Brea and Wilshire.
Yeah, remember that big old like
Yeah, it had the Samsung sign on it.
The one next to it was a fake building.
Oh.
Yeah, they do that all the time. Like they're in like a lot of cities. They'll
Yeah.
be power
Well, it's just
plant
like-
transformers. They'll
Just
do
the
a bunch of
electrical
stuff.
substations. They look like government buildings, but they're just they're just the shell,
It's just
and
a
they have
shell,
like.
yeah.
I think there was a gas.
They're all
There was a
yeah.
gas leak a few years back that was like up in like the valley, and it was coming from this building. And it's like, no, wait, there's no one in this building. It's
Yeah,
not
I
even a
know.
real
It's
one.
like it's like it's crazy.
So the Men in Black is real. There's
And there's definitely buildings that
some buildings out there that aren't real, and you go underground and aliens.
100%. I don't know about aliens, but
How's it feel to have the car back?
oh my god, I was so depressed. Now I feel like relieved.
You can go about your life.
Yeah, I've been driving like 100 miles an hour. Just been passing people, flipping them off. Swerve, swerve. It's been so good.
Flipping off all the grannies.
Because I've been driving like a granny because the cat was plugged and then I needed a thermostat. So if I got on it, I had no power anyway, but then it would start getting warm. So I had to back off. So I had to
Is it
drive
because the
like a
pressure so it'd be like kind of like choppy, or was it because the back pressure
it
would build
had-
up, right?
That's exactly what it was. So the back pressure was building up, so it allowed me to have no basic pressure. You know what I mean? No
Mm-hmm.
power. And then so we got that off fixed. Now I feel just great, just $2,500 lighter. But
Did you ever name your car?
yeah, I did, but I can't remember.
It wasn't like Black Beauty or something.
It was the Chariot.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
that was-
Name it after the band.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good one.
What about
'Cause
you?
I was thinking my old car, but that one was like Baby Armageddon.
I don't even know.
Fucking
Fan of
Baby
the movie too, right?
Baby Armageddon.
Baby Armageddon.
Yeah, my car right now doesn't have a name.
You named all like
I've named every single one.
Was the Explorer named?
Exploder.
Exploder.
Oh, that's appropriate.
Yeah,
Then you had the White Lightning.
yeah.
Little Boy Blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you name the truck?
Cora.
Oh, what
Cora
was
the
van?
Explorer.
Yeah, it was Cora the Explorer. That's what I called it.
Did you have anything for the van or no?
No,
Yeah, the van didn't have
No.
one. That was just van again.
I think it was literally just like the
van.
the blue Twinkie, the van.
Van.
Yeah.
What about you? You name your cars?
I think I've named like my last 3 cars the same thing. Like I had a scooter too. I had a scooter, and I don't know why, but it's like a very nice name. I named it Sandra. It was like
Sandra?
It was like a Chinese knockoff of a Vespa.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Called Sandra, and then I had like a '94 Accord named that Sandra, and I think like I'm gonna name my Fit. I'm gonna name that Sandra,
Sandra?
too.
Sandra.
It's
I like that.
I like that. Just
Sandy
keep
D.
on using the same.
Sandy D.
That was the first ever little Vespa type thing I ever drove was Sandra on your street.
You never
Yeah.
rode a motorcycle?
No, I did a motorcycle, but not like a Vespa,
Vespa,
like a.
Do you remember
scooter.
when Tay rode it and then he just automatically like just laid it down?
Oh,
laid it
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
you rode it for like 50 feet. I was like, how do you lay
What
that
happened?
down?
He just leaned to the side?
No, I think he just like bailed.
Yeah, and then it just went. Shh. I was like, great.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like that's not what you're not supposed to do that with these things.
Hilarious.
That was really fun. I really want to get another one of those.
You should.
It's funny because like when I would be riding it, like it's so fun. It's so fun to ride a scooter, and then but like there's this. I think it's like a unspoken like fraternity among people with just riding on 2 wheels. So I would like pull up.
You getting the head nods?
I would pull up next to guys on like Harleys and like Hogs and stuff, and they'd be like,
That's what's up. You should
like-
get a Grom.
"No, I want a Vespa. I want like a Vespa.
You want a Vespa?
Yeah." I mean, like, can you soup up a Vespa? Get
Yeah,
some
I'm
extra.
sure
you
aftermarket
can,
parts for
everything.
anything.
'Cause those are really like those are small. Those are like 10 horsepower or something like that, and like
They're so dope, man.
yeah, they're fun though. And like going 30 on that feels like you're going 50 because
Oh,
your
yeah.
tires only like.
Crazy
10
going
inches.
quick
Yeah.
on those, dude.
I've seen people go on the freeway on those. I'm like,
Yeah.
Those ones have like the saddlebags, and they're like
No,
kind of
like-
the cruiser boys.
but they're still like your wheels are still like
There's-
12 inches.
they're 12, yeah, they're
it's
not
like
that much bigger. But
I mean, there's no potholes on the freeway or something.
Hopefully
but
not.
still, I always think about that, like on a motorcycle. Like, dude, you just, I don't know.
I mean, it's like your knees are together, locked in when you're on the freaking Vesp. After our conversation last week about Teslas and weather, it made me realize like the difference, like the rest of the U.S., especially like the Northeast and stuff. In terms of cars, it's like, yeah, no wonder why they don't have certain cars like we do, because it's just they got potholes.
Or why
aside.
like everyone loves a truck.
Yeah, exactly.
We just have light purposes for trucks.
That's why all-wheel drive's so anywhere like north or even
My
Pacific
mom,
Northwest.
She
Like
made sure in Georgia she had her car with all-wheel drive because she's like, it rains out here. You just don't know.
like Subarus are very like in the Pacific Northwest. Like everybody in Washington and Oregon has like a Subaru.
I gotta say the Subi
They're not even like lesbian.
handled the
But a lot of
rain
like a gem.
like
huh?
a gem, like nothing,
Like a gem.
like a gem. I was like, this is nothing.
Yeah, I'd just be wave riding. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd just be cruising. That's
Yeah,
what they're built for.
I do want to get some all weather tires though. Just
Get
easy.
some
Make a
get some ATs on them. Get some like
Alternate, yeah.
30s.
That's what I can put on. I can
You put 30s on those?
Uh-huh.
Woo,
Yeah, that's the
those
biggest
are-
size.
Get some knobbies.
Yeah, I want to do 30s.
Well, he could put some reverse coilovers, put some suspension on it, and lift it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen?
2 inches.
Have you seen the people that like overland those Subis like has a little
rally 'em
winch
up,
and then they put the brush guards. Those look.
I think
those
they
look
put them
hard.
on. I think they do them on the.
They got the
I've seen 'em on
fucking-
Crosstreks
They got the
and
KC
WRXs.
headlights on the top
Yeah,
of the head bar.
yeah. I know. I don't know if I would do the bar or the separate like.
They have like
Can light,
they have an
you know,
integrated like it's just the LED light bar.
Yeah,
so
the
it's low
bar is
profile.
cool.
Those are cool. Like,
Yeah, the bars are cool.
it's just like right above the windshield.
Because like if I'm lifting it, then I'm gonna want to also have the front grill, and then it also has the
Skid
Skid
plate.
plate.
skid plate, and then the plate that goes under basically the whole body
Skid plate. You want
but you know the one because like
'cause
you
it'll
can
be
just
the
have the
bumper,
one.
then it'll have the angle one.
That
you
one,
want
and then
this
the-
one.
exactly,
You
yeah,
want
yeah.
the skid plate. You
Yeah.
want the runner. and you want-
So I think like with trucks, a lot of people do that to their trucks, never see off road. But I feel like when I see Subarus that do that, like those are people
Jeep.
going off road.
Or a
yeah.
Jeep.
If you see a Jeep
Yeah.
done up, is
You know they do.
probably he's going
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
or
I mean, if you get
they're
the like
going
the
off
Fox
road.
suspension and all that, you're getting the crazy
you're
stuff.
Seeing all that, yeah. Just like remember the weirdo at the crazy Jeep.
Yeah, but
Crazy Jeep.
he also was like. He was like, I never get to go. Like
He did say he never gets to use it, but
he
that
never
was
gets to
his
use
toy,
now this
yeah.
thing. Yeah, which I get. I'm like, damn, you're telling us about your life, and it sounds rough.
Miserable.
Well, there's a lot. Like growing up, we would always see those like show trucks, the the
Yeah.
anodized suspension,
Oh, yeah.
like all pretty but
Yeah.
spotless. Like they never take that thing like even on a trail or nothing.
Yeah,
That'd be dope to have. I want a old like 70 truck short bed though, but I want to drop it.
oh yeah.
I want to bag it out and drop it.
I saw this is years ago, but I saw a 57 like a Bel Air that was raised, had like mutters on it. It was like
Oh, they did that.
it was like
too.
34s or something. Like it was, and you
Damn.
could see the body, like the body was still like it was raised, but then like the chassis was like above it,
even higher.
Yeah.
because like
yeah.
it was crazy.
Get lifted.
It's dope. I like working on shit.
But yeah,
You definitely get to.
Yeah, I do.
I've been since last week. I think it was on Monday. We talked last week about digital detox, and then I had an involuntary digital detox this week because
explain
I dropped my phone, and it
where.
like just like I took a shower and I was getting out of the bathroom, and then I just like, oh, my phone's right there, and so I grabbed it like that, and then I just like fumbled it, and then I saw it drop like slow motion. I was like, this is not going to end well. And so the screen, I don't know if you could. I don't
How
know if you
long
could
did the
see it.
slow motion fall last year?
Oh,
I'll
it's
zoom in.
staying.
Oh, no. Then
no.
you said something. Maybe it's voice activated.
Yeah,
It's like when it gets to a
knows.
solid color,
It
like a
knows.
solid color, it'll flash or it'll stay at that really bright thing. But
Yeah, we saw it doing the strobe
yeah,
light.
yeah, it's kind of hard to look at. Like I can't. I was trying to play Wordle and I was like, I can't do this.
Your
Is Wordle fun?
I like it.
Yeah, that's fun. Your screen reminds me of like the first early apps
Game Boy?
on the iPhone, where it was like the strobe light on the iPhone. You're like,
see, like-
this is the app, and you just hold it up, and it's just
You're just yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, and those apps were like the most downloaded. You're like, hell yeah.
Well, you remember you used to have to download a flashlight app.
Yeah. Yeah, which was the screen. They couldn't even use the flash, and then they could use the flash.
Use the
It
flash.
was a screen.
It was just the screen. You'd,
Yeah. I'm so far.
So do you feel changed without tech for at least for your without the?
I mean, like I haven't
smartphone?
really been going out or anything, so I think
Is the phone limiting you from going out?
no, I mean it's just like it's just been during the week. Like the only hiccups that I found is like the screen's like it was off, like it wouldn't turn on, like it was just straight blacked out, and then it just turned on like randomly, like maybe 2-3 days ago. But the only thing I've noticed that it's a pain in the ass with is doing laundry, because my apartment needs like an app for it. To like, because you put money on this account and then you just do Bluetooth, and then for logging on to YouTube to authenticate when you sign on a different device.
Yeah.
So it's on my computer, on my work computer, and like I signed out, like all my stuff signed out because I had to clear up some space, so I cleared the browser cache. And then I was like, well, shit. So I had to use my laptop to chat on my work chat, and then I was like working on the computer, so I was dual screening it. But otherwise, it's been really, really good. Like I noticed that like in the morning, obviously, I can't wake up or go to sleep like scrolling on Instagram. So I just I haven't noticed Instagram at all, like, which is kind of not surprising because it's like I'm so passive at it. I'm not really engaging. So I got like 20 unread messages on there, and I'm like, I'll respond to it later.
What do you use your phone the most for?
There's like a couple games on there, and that's probably like
those? That's all I was going to ask. You missed any of that kind of stuff? Like
kind of, not really, but I got a Switch now, so it's like I'll play that. Mostly like and I don't even watch YouTube on my phone, so like I'll fall asleep sometimes to watching YouTube on my computer. It's been good though. I like it. It's screen time this week has been 0 essentially, so it's pretty nice.
You don't need cell phones? Text good, but maybe no cell phone.
I think if I went out,
landline?
I think the big thing would be like Uber to just go places like that. That's kind of crucial. But otherwise, like I guess I'm trying it out for you in case you go for the month.
I'm gonna do it.
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I already like all the things that I would have to have on the side. I would just like for the Google stuff, I would just make sure I get all those codes, because you can like download like 20 codes that you can just type in instead of using your phone. So it's like you have to do things like that. You know, you're doing like more like
it adds an extra 30 seconds to your day or something.
Yeah. But then you also like end up not doing. I mean, I remember like just not using like Instagram last year for like a couple months, and that like you get time back because of that. So.
It's easy. Like I like feel like I'm not sitting in bed for like 20 minutes scrolling. So it's like I just actually I wake up. If I'm tired, like I don't like I'll just go back to sleep. I don't like pull up my phone and then like scroll for like 20 minutes and then get out. But I know like I can't, since I still have my laptop, I still have iMessages, so I can like talk to anybody with an iPhone, but otherwise like so it's just the screen that doesn't work. But like I called my mom the other night. I had to go into my car, turn it on, plug it in for the iPlay, and then use the touch screen on the phone to like, because she has an Android, so I was like,
you can call from the.
Marlene doesn't love it because I'm not sending her like 20 memes a day on Instagram. Because I was like, oh, I kind of like this non-phone life, and she's like, I don't love it. It's like, I feel like part of our relationship has died because you're not sending me cat memes and shit like all day long.
That brings up a really interesting thing, because I sometimes run into it with Laura and I. Like, I don't interact on the phone as much as I used to, like when I was younger, especially with like just like communicating through the workday. Like if I'm at work, generally now I'm not on my phone. And I'm not texting. And I notice that like, certain people, certain demographics, certain generations, like it's way different. And so like that is the communication. And so it's like, it does come into the thing like, well, you didn't you didn't see the meme I sent you, or you didn't see the post I tagged you in, or this like, I wanted to talk to you about this thing I saw, and it changes like, you're like, oh, well,
I don't give a fuck.
I mean, it's not like that, but like, it is like, oh, well, I'm not using my phone at the moment. And but
you sound old.
But the question is like, in the relationship, like, it's a level or form of communication for people. So then it's like, well,
it's like passive communication.
So where do you want to draw your line and come to terms? Like, there has to be like, for you, you're a pretty non-phone user.
And if
I'm imagining that if you're going to meet someone that only text messages, and you're going to be like,
of course, it's going to be something like that.
You have to like adapt.
Like Lado is going to be like, look,
I love you. And she texts 100. I would probably stop being attracted after a while. To be honest.
Well, because with Marlene, like I like
text messages.
I send her like voice notes and stuff. Like she's like, I've never sent a voice note before, and then we do it back and forth. And she's like, you can't send me voice notes throughout the day. You can't do this. You can't do that. It's just because it's like gives more context.
Unless it's like my dad. Shout out, Dad. I'm not hating on you, but he did send me a 9-minute voice note once.
9 minutes? I didn't think they could record that long.
What do you
I thought it was like
the Bible
3 minutes.
to you?
You know it's my dad.
I know.
You know how he invites you in. You better be ready for a story.
He should be a podcast. He was able to talk to himself for 9 straight minutes.
And it was like legit, like I remember being like
he was talking to himself to no one for 9 minutes.
And like I listened to 2 minutes and I paused and I started from that 2 minutes and I did it. And I ended up finishing it. It was like a Joe Rogan podcast. I just kept on going back to it.
It took him a week to finish a 9-minute voice.
But it was so funny because he was hitting all the things. He was like, LAFC, let's talk about basketball. I'm like, you really had your week of like notes.
He probably,
and then you were
no. What happened is he probably tried to leave you a voicemail and it cut him off. So
let me just go directly. His direct
It's
line.
funny because if my dad was a stoner, I'd be like, he was high. But the man's like straight as an arrow. So you just like.
It was just 25 different enthralling topics.
Yeah. Yeah. But,
that's dope.
But a direct note, I think, when you don't have a phone, for people that mainly use it for communication, it kind of can irk them. People can get irked.
Yeah, she probably like because she's working all day. She's not like me, which I'm working from home, so she's like actually being productive, and I'll send her like 10 throughout the day or something, and now she's not coming home after the workday to see all these funny interesting things I'm sending her. But I'm gonna get one like next week.
I'm stacking up. I'm gonna send her 100.
I'm gonna spend like an hour on there and just everything on there.
That'd be so funny if you just actually started sending postcards.
No, I find them just on my computer, and then I print them out, and then I like get them laminated, and then I send them to her through the post.
You should. The Pony Express.
Support your local post office.
Do you have a pen pal? Any you guys ever?
Oh, like ever in my life? Yeah, I think I had one, but they went to like Altaloma when I went to. Or no, I was at Stork, so they had to be somewhere close.
I have a email pen pal from a guy I met. One of the Aussies I was hanging out with at Burning Man, like the second time I went. Dude, we just still like it's very like 3 months, when time comes up. But yeah, we still talk. It's kind of cool. I get the reason why people back in the day would keep a pen pal, because it's like you're tapped into a different life in a different area, and like you're like, oh my god, these things are happening over there. That's crazy.
I normally just DM then.
No,
you don't DM now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, bro.
Because I see you guys.
Who do you DM?
People I don't see.
Internet girlfriends.
Are you just sliding into like 100 girls' DMs?
No. I'll show you. They're no one.
They're no one.
Let me see both. Let me see both accounts.
Ooh.
Yeah, which account are you using?
Which account are you using?
I won't expose your non-Finsta.
I know. It's literally just your name.
It's literally just all you guys, homies, no females.
So you're trying to say is
that looks like is there? Oh, that's Luis. I thought that was Lula.
I just noticed that you said there's no females in your.
Oh, there's females. But they're friends.
Mm-hmm.
Let's unpack that.
Yeah. I noticed that you've been really fancying Playboy Cardi's new attire. So
I think I'm ready to wear a thong in public. Psych.
I'm amazed that like you actually would be. I feel like you would just do that if someone dared you.
I would.
Yeah,
I don't have any quarrels or qualms about that kind of stuff. But he's doing it to get a rise. I don't feel like he's necessarily like that weird.
I don't think it has to be weird. I mean,
no, but he's like how he be putting on his makeup.
I mean,
like,
isn't that all just stylists? Like, and then it's just like you gotta wear some fits because like you got a new album or single drop, and then it's just
exactly
like
what it is.
And that's just like I feel like a lot of musicians or celebrities, they're not very stylish themselves. They just have good stylists.
Well, but that was Russ's main point, I guess. That was not negative, but a negative thing about Future is that, okay, if you're an artist, where do we draw the line? Because we've had this talk before. Like, some people think it's real. Some people believe it's not real, right?
for what?
Let's just say musical artists.
But what's the real part?
No, okay, so do you believe Future to be Future all the time? Or do you think he's putting on... Do you think there's some caricature to his persona as a musical artist? That's the question.
When I hold it up, then it doesn't do it.
Because his whole thing is...
I don't know, because I don't think I've ever hear him or see him outside of being Future.
Okay, well, then this is where his thing was with Future. He said that Future publicly says that he does a lot of drugs in his music.
Mm-hmm.
Much to the point to where we know as adults, no one could even be alive that long doing the amount of drugs he says he consumes.
I don't know, Keith Richards. He's hanging on.
Not even, but you know what I'm saying.
I mean,
right?
he drinks promethazine basically like water, and
right. So
at least pretends.
Okay, right. Mm-hmm. So now then he says, Juice World admits to Future, I started doing lean because you say it's dope in your music. Juice World then dies from drug overdose. Future doesn't even do the drugs that he says he does in the music that is influencing
other people. That's problematic.
That's what he's...
But also then, but even if he does the drugs, shouldn't it still be problematic that you're glorifying something that could hurt somebody?
Definitely, but his whole thing is it's worse when you don't do it and you're just monetarily gaining.
Well,
look at if you do it and it's your traumas, by all means.
But King Push, like all of his bars are like about selling drugs. He doesn't sell drugs anymore. He hasn't for like 20 years. So isn't that the same thing?
I think it's a little different though, only because
I don't.
Like,
I mean, I guess
the Juice WRLD thing. It's like, and I think that's why he used this specific example, is because Juice WRLD told Future personally, I started drinking lean because of how you made it sound in your music, and then he dies from a drug-related overdose, while then Future admits to not even doing the drugs that he says he does in his music.
Well, but I mean, like, lean got popular because rappers were saying it was like...
I'm not talking about anyone else but these two people.
I think the only difference might be that Push is rapping about what he used to do. It's like what Jay-Z still does.
That's what Russ was saying. If you've done that...
Jay-Z's been rapping about being the guy on, in Marcy projects.
That's known, right? That he has.
That he was. That's when it started, like, he was a pusher before he was a rapper. That's known. But he still raps about that. But if Future
but I'm saying
never did it...
No one could even do the drugs he says he does. So I
don't know about that.
You're right. Somebody could. Somebody does.
Yeah.
But he's...
But I don't know if he... I mean, like... the other thing is, like, has he never done lean?
I'm sure he has, but like...
Yeah.
And it's all like storytelling, like...
I do think that's like one
under RICO things. This is not evidence. This is just like,
this is just... And this is all just what has been said publicly. Juice WRLD publicly told... Future publicly says he doesn't do these drugs, or at least to the amount that where he's rapping about it.
I feel like that's what Travis Scott said too. Like, he doesn't do drugs, but
so then Russ was saying, is that like should be called out, right? And we're not saying anything else is right or bad, but that's like the scummiest of the scummy, right?
What do you mean scummiest?
I mean, I just think it's lame. I'll just say that,
lame?
Like from a standpoint,
because his whole thing is, if you're an artist, your whole thing is just to portray, demonstrate things that kind of like you.
Yeah. But I do think rap and I'm not like specifically rap. Maybe I don't know, 15 years ago started off going more towards this like I'm gonna tell stories that maybe aren't necessarily my stories, and then over the course of at least the past 7 years, the majority of it's been like stories that aren't people's stories.
This, and like I said, as adults, we know this, but then he says for the kids that have no discernment like that, and they do think that everything that Little Dirk, all these people, is actually what they're living, and we can say it can't be everything that they're saying they're actually doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where then the youth is then being influenced by.
I think that's always how it's been.
It is always how it's been.
I mean, like, what can you do? Like, even if you say publicly, like, I don't think that changes anything. Like, how is it different than
I think it does.
Definitely does change
I think if I would have watched Catch Me If I Can, or Catch Me If You Can, and I knew that was none of that was real, the allure of that movie would have been gone instantly. I would have never been like, that would have been like, oh, this is a cool
That's the
story.
thing, they brought it about to wrestling. It's like people at a certain age, it's like Santa Claus with wrestling. You know it's not real.
It can't be.
It
at
is
one
to
point,
the point.
but there's a point where you're like,
this is
these
real.
people would die if they were doing
That's
it.
the thing with hip hop. He was saying like hip hop has always been looked at as this is actually someone's life. They're not characterizing or this is someone lived this life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, I think, where it becomes misleading because if you're built on this is reality, this isn't fiction. We are not saying rap is fiction. Rap is reality. Rap was built out of people's reality.
But that's always
stories,
perception, though. Still,
No,
like,
rap
no, I'm
was
saying like
built out of
it's
people's
it's
reality.
grounded in their lived experience, but not everything is true.
I'm saying
And so,
rap
like-
was built out of people's reality.
Yeah, I think I'm following what Trey's
You
saying.
get what I'm saying?
No, I
when
get
we
it.
watch movies, we're going into it with the notion that this is fiction. This is not real. This is a movie. When you go into listening to rap, we think it's still real.
Specifically 90s rap. I'm just going to say for the conversation
We
of
thought
what
it was
grew up
real.
on. Well, I mean, I think the whole world thought it was real. It was East versus West, gangster rap. You outlawed stuff you could wear from school because of the whole thing of it, you know?
So
It was
that's
like
what he says he feels is, yes, we know it's all bad, but when you're saying I don't do this and I'm now benefiting off of this and people are dying, being influenced off of my words, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, it's fucked up. But what
Yeah.
are you like? What are you gonna do? Like, preface everything you say? Like, because we were just talking about like authenticity and like, in whatever
But
form.
that's what you. But then that's. Do you think Future would be as big of an artist if there was a preface? Hi, I am the caricature Future. I do not do any of these things that I portray in my music. I went to Morehouse. I've got a doctorate degree, and you know what I mean. If this was a reality, you think it would make a difference?
I don't think people would flock to it
Exactly.
the same way.
Exactly.
Specifically if like
Because it's not real.
But not even that. Like we still as a culture, like we really, especially with hip hop, it's like the more bad boy you are, the more alluring and enticing it is. You're hit more of a bop because you're not like a whatever.
There's a reason why Future isn't going out and saying publicly all the time, I don't do lean. But if you listen to any of his songs, I do lean all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but it's like,
but if you don't do it though, that's like.
Where do you think though? So like, what I hear you saying is often though the very thing that Josh and I say to you about.
That's why I want to bring this up
about what's your guy?
Tate.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It is
like like he is still dangerous.
It's exactly the same.
And you say he isn't that person, but I have nothing to go off of that says he isn't that person. And like, I mean, what I hear you saying is that people should be held accountable for the ripples of their actions, but I don't feel like you believe that though in all spheres.
Well, I feel like like I said, we're not going to go and prosecute Philip Morris because we know their product kills people. You buy their product, it's going to kill you.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
I see what you're
difference.
saying. Yeah.
well, I mean
That
that
is the
has
difference.
happened though. Like, because of the advertising, it's not advertised the same. They don't even advertise it anymore. But I mean, like, a lot of people probably don't look at it that way. But rap is still art.
But and like young impressionable minds aren't looking at it as this person's giving me surmise of what they've been through life. They feel like whatever they're saying is a reality.
Well, okay, so like look at like back in the day, like Kiss. People thought parents had like, oh, these are satanic music. Like if you play backwards, it's like they don't like. Is it up to them to say like, no, we're good Christians. We don't believe in the devil. Like
Jewish.
Yeah,
but
or
their music wasn't
they're
representative of negativity either, though.
I also think though,
hip hop's music is almost like it's glorifying the gangster, which is the.
Well, then are you just going to single out people in hip hop that have to say like, oh, like I'm not actually doing these things? I mean, most new artists don't.
Any artist that isn't doing what they say they're doing and they're profiting off of it is wrong.
Well, this seems like a really interesting, like just specifically on this issue that you're taking this stance, because I feel like in other cases you'd be like, oh, that's just how it is. That's reality.
No, I'm not saying
it's like,
it shouldn't be. I'm just saying.
No, that's
wrong.
what I'm like. Yeah.
Well, like you don't think it. Like I understand when you're saying it's wrong. The filling in the blanks is it's wrong for people to make money off of things they're saying that lead to, in your example, death. That specific example. Yeah. Which is like also a whole lot other there.
You could pick and choose a lot, but yes.
Well, I'm just gonna say that what I mean is like, and I think you say this often, is that, and we always generally come to the conclusion, is like you can't say that one person was the cause.
Exactly.
All at the same time, though, like I wonder for you, like Josh, like you said, like rap is art, and I'm just curious, like when you say that, like what part is art? Because I don't think that the falsity of a person's character is necessarily art.
The art in rap was,
but I also say that at the same time, if you creating a storybook, then you are writing a story about a person that is a false character. So, and that I would say is art. So I don't. I'm curious what part's art for you.
I mean, it's like a persona, like just like a writer writing a book, making a character, even if it is based on their lived experience, like nothing anybody ever says, especially when you present it as a form of entertainment, whether it's like you think it's art or not, like nothing is 100% true. So I mean, like I know
as an adult, but did you have this exact same, I'm saying to the 18-year-old Josh,
I can't even remember that far, so I can't really like. I can't say that. Like
when
we were saying in rap, like
discernment. I'm saying when we were at an age that could be impressionable on. Were you like?
Well, I mean, like if you want to look at it, like I thought smoking cigarettes was cool, and so I started smoking because I thought it was cool.
That's all I'm saying. We know that when you're 18, 19, you're gonna take influence from a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean.
So what I'm saying is when you are when you're falsely portraying something that you know people believe to be real and you're making money off of it as if you are really living that life, it's fucked up.
Would it be worse if he wasn't making money? Or would it be different if he wasn't making money?
Of course.
But even still, he's portraying an action that is bad. Mm-hmm. But because he's not making money off it, doesn't matter anymore?
No, it's just the fact of how many people we know he affects off of the monetary gain that he gets. We know he obviously affects a lot of people because of his monetary status.
Yeah.
But also, like, as naive as you might think it is, like, yes, young, impressionable people, they know it's not good for you. You know that lean is not good for you. You know it's a drug. And obviously, maybe you don't know the depths of it. You don't know the...
I'm with you. Sorry, I'm not going to cut you off. Yeah, I'm with you to a degree. And the only thing I'll say is the degree part is, like, I myself, probably you guys too, and a lot of people we know used to ingest pharmaceutical pills like they were M&Ms. Because at that point, there was no idea about you could die, you can overdose, these things can become addictive. And so I do think that as a youth, if you see this really old, successful, sorry, bro, I just called you old, but you see Future as being the successful rapper who's been drinking lean by the fucking quarts every single day.
Taking perks,
and he's okay.
Not okay, thriving.
Then I think that itself is problematic.
That's it.
But I mean, you also were saying last week that you would let your kid listen to.
I would listen to it. I would let them listen to it.
See, I don't.
I
That
would let them
doesn't
listen to it.
line up.
I think
to
there's a
me.
bit of dissonance because then you're
that
gonna
doesn't line up.
like then it would be
It doesn't line up, but then that's
Like I call bullshit on that. I think
no, it doesn't line up, but that's just where we are. Like you need, I guess, the yin and the yang, and in this,
but you can't always say that's where we are because that's kind of
But
like
in this sense,
a deflection.
how
I
we
wouldn't say it's a deflection. It's the reality. We know things aren't real. We know people's personas that actually is their public persona isn't how they actually are. So no, like we buy into facades. We buy into that daily.
So are you saying then that really it was Juice WRLD's parents' fault?
That was someone tried to say that, and that then goes to, I mean, of course we can keep passing the buck.
Well, I mean,
but chapter 1 in this scenario,
go to a Bible verse again.
No. Chapter 1 in
Verse
this scenario,
17.
no Bible. Chapter 1 in this scenario is who perpetrated the art to influence someone.
I mean, the art, the
This has nothing to do about he could have
the
been
record
raised,
label. Then
no, but he could
is
have been raised the
dealer.
greatest of parents. He could have had the greatest of parents.
but then
he
record-
still got influenced by something.
But then
right?
the record label's
Well,
the
then you're
dealer.
just gonna like chicken or the egg, like, oh, you're gonna look at like marginalized society and stuff because like this gave birth to, like rap music.
No, I'm saying no. You guys are saying like, oh, just because you do 3-card Monty, all card games and shouldn't be banned. It's like, no.
I don't know. I don't think that was the road I was traveling
I
on
was
right
just
there.
gonna say I don't know if 3-card Monty. I'm with you. I'm more curious about how you would tell your child to watch what they want to watch while equally at the same time tell them to
You explain to them this is not a reality. They are portraying something.
And then
this isn't reality.
How does one understand what reality is? Are you showing them
Of
things
course you
that
show
are
them. They think that the reality there's being portrayed to by on the TV is actually the reality of that person. That 24 hours a day they're living this life that I'm looking at for 5 minutes in this music video.
And since I know
That's
nothing,
not-
and since I know nothing about Future, and you know more, he never shows an alternate reality. And I'm asking this as like a real question.
Does Kanye show an alternate? Does he?
Is it the same kind of level though?
In the sense of their personality, yes.
Because I don't think Kanye has an alternate. I think that's him.
His reality.
I
No,
think
no, no.
Kanye is Kanye, man.
No, but I'm saying they don't portray another. Future does not portray a different side of Future. Future's always been the womanizer, the drug abuser,
In the music,
but that's that's the only light we get to see of him.
but he says he's not.
He has publicly said in interviews that he doesn't consume.
I wonder if he's just saying that.
It could be the cleanup.
Yeah,
It's a whole lot of things, you know what I mean? Because it could be the cleanup.
yeah.
I mean, like, is it? I mean, I come back to like being like as
If you
an
pay-
artist and stuff. It's like
you said
once
you
you
paid
put something out into the world, like you don't have any control of it.
But
so
who
is it
added that?
gonna, are you going to have to make stuff that's completely your lived experience and no
not saying
exaggerations or
Who
no like?
painted the Mona Lisa?
I mean,
Who do we give
Da
credit
Vinci?
for painting the Mona Lisa?
Da Vinci.
What if Da Vinci didn't paint the Mona Lisa?
Well, then we'd probably know that he didn't do it.
Would we?
Probably.
Why?
Because it's been passed down for years before.
Well, it's
it was
just
a big deal.
accepted, like accepted reality or whatever like that.
It's just
I mean, I think
Well, what's the point you're trying to reinforce then?
anything could be someone's reality if they just believe that to be a fact. I get what you're saying. Art can come from wherever, but if we're giving credit to Leonardo for painting the Mona Lisa and he's now being publicized as a genius and all this shit for painting something that he didn't actually even paint, that's kind of fucked up for people to then idolize somebody that didn't do it. That's all I'm saying, especially from an artist's standpoint. I don't understand how.
I mean, I think a lot of plagiarism though does happen in the world of art. So I kind of
but I
put.
feel credit is given, and when credit is given, then it's different.
Like if you're talking about just art, the art world,
yeah.
it is plagiarism is like it's like what Picasso said. Good, it's like something good artists create and great artists steal.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's inherent in art that you make up things like, and I know that like as a kid that's not apparent, but like as you're saying, you would explain to your child like this stuff you're watching is not reality. what Sean was saying, like, they don't even know what you're talking about if you explain it in that way. Like, they're not going to know, like, their lived experience is like such a small thing. Like, they don't even know what that, I don't think they can separate like reality from.
No, they don't live like that.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of scenarios where if I judged everything on my only lived experiences, I'd be pretty blind. You know, I'd be pretty blind. Yeah. I'd also say, though, to your point about art being plagiarized, it is plagiarized. At the same time, if I wrote a nonfiction novel about myself and it was all fiction and it came out, I would be dragged as an author for doing
that's why I guess it stands with hip hop, because for a lot of other things you can have a caricature, actors, they can play a role.
Yeah.
But it says it. We know that going into this.
What's his real name?
Exactly.
But
Leonard Future.
Do you think that that's part of it? Like, I sometimes
could be,
because I've always wondered that about like Jay, for instance. I've always wondered, like, his name is Sean. Does everyone call him Jay-Z? And if people call him Sean, does he go, "Oh, I'm Sean now"? Or are you just like, at one point, like we always generally talk about, they become so meshed?
I don't feel like they become so meshed. I feel like there's a definite separation.
So then in that case, I would fall back to the other side of saying, if he's always done everything under the name Future, he could always just say Future's not me.
But that's also like
the perception of rap is that.
I know. Yeah.
Future didn't.
That is it. Yeah.
Future didn't pull all of this out of his ass. He didn't come up with this one day. Like somebody influenced him.
100%.
Like, and their experiences weren't completely true either. So it's like, where can you draw the line? You can't. Like, yeah, in this case, with the Juice World specifically saying to him, yeah, but it's like
that's why he used that case, because it was very specific to where he can say, but we know this person died because of a drug overdose.
Yeah,
we know this person got into it, at least because they publicly said you were doing it, and we know publicly that you said you don't at least abuse those drugs.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
to the degree you rap about.
It's interesting to like. I mean, I don't want to like. This is no shade or any drag, but like, the manner in which Juice WRLD like passed away too, that's like a whole nother thing. It's like, you know, that's not like it wasn't his everyday behavior that brought him to that. That was like a very specific incident. So I mean, I get the whole thing.
Time, like, he was, when you're in that, let's say, dark of an area, things are inevitable. And
I mean, it's
that
like,
was.
Do you remember? Sorry, Belly.
Belly.
Like rap and movies and stuff has always glorified.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's even exclusively to rap. I think it's like, look at like Goodfellas, like, or whatever.
They
it's
talk
all
about movies
based on.
It's just that
somewhat
in
true
movies
stories
and literature, most of the time when you go into it, you have the notion that either this is based on reality or this is absolute fiction.
Yeah.
When you go into listening to rap music, you're almost always going into this is reality.
But
to a degree, I was gonna say the one thing that with Future is, though, you have to think the type of rapper he is. So take Future over here and take Kendrick over here.
Total different.
They're both telling stories, right? But Kendrick is not a shock storyteller. He's not saying I fucked your bitch in some Gucci flip flops kind of scenario. If Future wasn't embellishing, what he probably does actually, then it would be boring. It actually wouldn't be that. So I don't even know if he has to pull from other people's lives. He might just be like, "Oh, I'm in this. I see it. I party. I see it all around me."
You don't have to partake, and you're around it. But just, if you are just always, that's me. Like, you know.
I mean, that just goes back to our conversation last week with, the youth and watching streamers, and where do you draw the line in terms of like what's real or not, and especially like when I'm talking, we were talking specifically about the pranks, and like, to me, I think that they're real. As a viewer, I can tell I can tell the ones that aren't really easily, like, but there's some of them I'm like, that seems like it was real, and it's like, now am I to think that person's not like that like if I ran into that,
you would think that
there's that Mexican dude that always like, or sorry, I shouldn't say Mexican, Hispanic dude, that's yes. If I saw him, I'd be like, oh, he's probably always doing the yes. He might not even sound like that. He might not even be that person, but my perception of it would be, and
Yeah, that's like if we met Brad Pitt, we wouldn't necessarily think we're running to dude from Fight Club.
Well, but at the same time, if you look at that, like people know a lot of movies are completely fiction,
correct?
But people accept that, they adopt that as their personality, as their persona. Like people probably they know Fight Club's not real, but then people fucking form Fight Clubs. People do all these things, so it's like
it's like usually like when actors play really great bad guys, they often after the movie comes out, people see them on the streets, they'll be like, "You're fucking terrible," or like, "Fuck that," you know. It's like that wasn't me, man. That wasn't that character who did that thing.
Do you remember the guy who like he did that like shooting in Colorado in the movie theater and he dressed up as the Joker? That's completely like that's completely fiction. And then it's like somebody adopts it as their reality. And this is a completely different left turn from what you were saying.
No, but it's like
it's really like I feel like the now
it is up to the person. That's
like like I don't want to call it delusion, but it's like you can lie to yourself, or like you accept this reality that is like not based on your own at all, and you tell yourself that you make up a character or persona for yourself. Yeah, and I feel like that's that kind of like if you want to tie that to like the alpha and stuff, like
that's like where we are.
Yeah,
like nobody is an alpha. Like,
I don't think people are alphas.
Set of characteristics and behaviors, like you're adopting that. That's not you. Like you're this is what I want to be like. So you're not an alpha.
Yeah, no one is.
You're kind of like what you think somebody should act like. So it's like that's also a false persona too. So
it's weird because I'm thinking now a lot about our age, and I'm wondering too, like, so you had the Joe Budden thing happen, you know, and you'll know more about it, so you can actually explain. But the premise of me thinking about how older people look at things and younger people look at things, and like
it don't compute.
It doesn't. And it's easier for me to sit here right now and be like, these young people are fucking stupid. But I too was young and stupid. So it's, you know, do you want to like?
Okay, yeah. So basically, it goes off of what we're talking about. Joe Budden being an elder statesman.
That's a kind way to put it.
Well, in the hip hop,
is he in his 50s? I don't know. No, okay, 40s.
He's in his 40s.
Okay,
early 40s too.
He's also looked like that the same.
I think he's really
he's got a skincare routine.
Old.
I'm sure.
I think the dude with the beard on the show is our age.
Oh,
wow,
Ice is our age.
He look old,
bro. He looks like he's 45.
Not that far off, dog.
I know. Sometimes I think about that anyway.
No,
sorry,
yeah.
continue.
So, but Joe Budden just, I mean, and he did preface it by saying he does like the Travis Scott song "Fiend," but when they performed it at the Grammys, it's not music that should be performed at the Grammys.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, he made his opinion known that, you know, it shouldn't be there. I like the song. I love it when I'm, as he said, on the dirty polo fields at Coachella. Or, you know, with 100,000 kids.
What are Travis Scott fans called?
Jack,
normal.
cactus, cacti.
Just the normal society, everyone. But so he just said it wasn't good. They shouldn't have been up there, him and Playboy Cardi. And he also said that because Kai Cenat reacted to Killer Mike winning the Grammy. And he's 22, and he was like, over her loss? Over Utopia? Like, who is Killer Mike?
That's funny.
And I mean, I do get it, because as a 21-year-old, it's like, who is Killer Mike? Like,
he's an elder statesman.
That does shock me a bit, but then at the same time, I have to drop into my mind where people were like, who the hell's Norma Jean? Now, completely different size. But
no, yeah, he's just like, okay, I get it. He's been around for a long time and has rapped. Drake and Travis Scott.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then Joe Budden went on a rant just saying, little kids, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. We run this. You can't always just buy your...
Which is true. And I think it's really hard for some, like...
That's why they're just beefing now, because now the little kids are barking back.
Yeah.
And just being like, who are you even? We got more money than you. You see how much our deals are? Which is... kind of true.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing
good too, but they're doing...
But like in terms of cultural influence, like to influencing younger people, he has nothing. He has nothing.
I am curious. I'm curious on the length of success for the youth, because we have nothing to base
And we
the
got
length
like
of it.
societal ADD. More.
Besides, what's that? The Casey dude? Was
Casey Neistat.
Cenat?
No, the
Casey Neistat.
yeah, Casey Neistat and
He's
Mr.
been around.
and Mr. Beast,
Mr.
right?
Beast has been around. Like, I mean,
Like, and
yeah,
but
there's
like
people
Budden,
that have been around.
Joe Budden's been around for
That's why it's kind of naivete of them saying that because
totally they don't know. Yeah, and I think that's
they truly don't know.
I hate to say this because it makes me sound old, but like truly, the older you get, the more you realize the reason why people older than you always say you don't know what you're talking about is because generally you just don't have enough of a view to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and because Joe is like, he's been one of the pioneers for podcasting,
Yeah.
for independent artists, basically everything a streamer is.
Yeah.
He was a pioneer and at the forefront of saying like artists should be able to recoup money. Artists should be able to have ownership. Hey, if you are an artist and you are moving the needle, be independent.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand what he's saying in terms of that performance. It's like,
Performance is trash.
but also, did he sound the same as his regular concerts? Is he
No.
screaming and stuff, or is it
Yes.
was
No, it's
because
terrible.
that's what he does.
Yeah.
right.
But like I said, they both
that
like
is
but
true.
it's
They
the
shouldn't
crowd.
be up there.
But
Like-
just like when Kai Cenat said, "Who the fuck is Killer Mike?" He did give him praise for a whole minute before he bashed him. He was just like, praise to you, blah blah blah. Then he just said, "Now that out the door, who the fuck are you?"
But that's the same thing as saying all due respect, and then you drag
Yeah.
somebody. It's
It-
no
it is.
different. Just because you say that doesn't mean like.
Did he say
but I
who the fuck
understand.
are you in the sense of
He's
like
never
who
heard the
are you?
name.
Because also Kai Cenat's very like
animated.
yeah. So was it actually him trying to drag him, or is it him just?
No.
Yeah, I couldn't see him actually.
No, it wasn't that at all. It
Yeah,
was more
yeah.
of like a funny bit.
Yeah.
He was like, over her loss.
Yeah.
Over Utopia. But he truly just didn't know who Killer Mike was.
Which is so weird that he just had like his biggest stream from Nicki Minaj, who is probably the same age.
But Nicki's been able to.
more cultural relevance overall.
She's like a
versus,
Taylor
like-
Swift. Somehow she still can get the
Has
youth.
the Barbies.
It's got good PR, got good agent. You know,
Like they have the youth still, you know what I mean? Which is maybe why Kanye is even relevant still. He's got the youth at least knowing of his name.
Also the hype beasts. Like Kanye is up forever a hype beast name.
And I feel like too for all the youngins, like he's their grandfather. If they fuck with the Cardi or Travis, it's like, well, it's,
children. That's his
it's
children.
Kanye. Like that's that's their dude.
why did Killer Mike get arrested?
Some bullshit.
That was.
I think the
that was
Grammys
stupid.
were because that was the thing too. Like the Grammys never wants to air like best rap awards or stuff like that. But that also goes into like numbers. It's like they would air it if the awards going to Drake or Drake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not just Killer Mike.
Yeah, they're like
I mean, even for me, like I'm a huge Run the Jewels
Run the
fan
Jewels.
and stuff, but it's like
It's Killer Mike.
it's Killer Mike. Like even for me, like
We can
I'm
all-
like
yeah,
I'm like a
he's
little
dope,
getting
but we
like
can all
still
say
drifting.
he's-
Like
it's Killer
Yeah.
Mike. He ain't not like huge.
not anything to say about
no,
about
he's-
the artistry or anything.
No, but he
yeah.
got arrested for like citizen's arrest. Basically, he got an altercation with a security guard at the Grammys. Basically, probably somebody being like, "I don't know who you are. You're not supposed to." You know what I mean? Like, which goes again to reinforce what Kai Cenat was saying.
if that's the truth, that'd be crazy.
It's on video.
But yeah,
So
I seen the
saw
video.
him get
The
arrested.
video, like, you see him getting arrested. He's talking to a security guy. They're kind of going back and forth. Then you just see like some more people coming. Didn't look crazy by
No.
any means. Maybe yelling, but no like.
But so is it like like they weren't like I'm assuming because I don't know like he like maybe accessed or like you shouldn't be here like who are you
Something like
And
that.
he's like
exactly. That's what I'm hoping.
he's like what the fuck were you talking about? I'm nominated like
That
and
shit's
That's what I'm thinking it
ridiculous.
is. Probably someone didn't know who he was. He maybe didn't have his credentials on him. You know, maybe he was going to go get the credentials because it was raining. You know, he didn't have an umbrella. He's in the rain.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, he got out. But it was one of those things to where it's like he got out right after the Grammys.
Oh.
Is the Grammys like the Oscars? It's like nominated by other artists.
Yeah, you got to. So what it is, I was wrong last week. You don't have to have just been active in the fiscal year. You've had to have been a Grammy winner.
Oh, to vote for future.
Wow.
So to vote on the Grammys, any category, you've had to have previously won a Grammy.
So that's from all industries within the music industry.
Exactly.
So it's like
you could be a producer, engineer, mixer, songwriter.
Wait up.
Yeah.
So the second Grammys, the only people that were able to vote were the ones
They
who
probably
won.
changed it, but yeah, at this moment in time,
That's kind of
people that
crazy.
Are allowed to vote. That's why it's a
And they can vote
register.
for anything.
Everything. They can vote for
Bubble
all the
and all the
categories.
categories.
things. I'd just be like,
Wow.
just
Yeah.
like randomly vote for everything.
So
Yeah,
that's
be
why,
like,
I mean, in essence and in
Scantron.
theory, it's like America. It should be good because you're getting
the mix.
and
It's,
you're getting the best.
democratized or something like that.
So, like-
but it's like the people voting. It's like who's won.
Who's won?
That also makes me think too, like, people live longer now. So you have older crowd that's staying longer. You have older heads that have all won.
Joe Biden.
That would who would you mess with more if you're an older
know.
person? Killer Mike or like
No, like it was
Travis
definitely
Scott.
his year. Like a lot of people has said, like he had a great album.
Yeah, it is
critically
It is really
acclaimed.
good.
He had a great album. I'm not taking nothing away from him. He had
Yeah.
a great album.
Well, I guess still touching on music and albums and album sales.
I'll
First, the album sales portion. So, how many times did Sunflower go diamond?
You're my sunflower. 2 times diamond.
And how many is that?
So to go diamond, you have to acquire, I believe, 5 million.
I think, yeah, because it's 5 times platinum is diamond, right?
So
Yeah.
platinum
Is that through
5
sales?
sales.
Not
Or maybe it's
stream-
10.
No,
It's-
nothing with streams. Sales.
Diamond is 10 million.
10 million, yeah.
So 20 mil.
So the
yeah,
thing with
20
sales, though, you knew the stats on the sales for streams. So what makes a sale for a stream?
Well, since we've had the digital era of streaming, they've come to an agreement basically saying 1,500 streams equals 1 sale.
1,500 streams equals what? Jeez.
How many streams is that then?
So many.
Do you think that most of those numbers, where do you think they come from? Like, you think it's from, like, because I always wonder about, like, does that count, like, every single place that uses music,
Has to.
right? Mm-hmm. And so if that, let's say that song probably is played at Target.
Of course.
And so every time it plays at Target, or because Target bought it?
It's probably on the Target registry licensing, so they've paid the one-time fee, and then Target can
But how
run it.
many sales is that? Do you think that's just
That's
one?
probably doesn't even go towards sales.
It just is like a thing.
That's
Yeah.
something else.
The weird, so good for Posty and for Sway.
They're set for life
yeah,
off
that
of that.
yeah.
Set for life.
Sway and
dude.
Post, good for you guys. I mean, the song does sound like it could have been written by Harry Styles, like, and you know, like it's got that.
Oh, it definitely had a big collaborative.
Yeah,
group.
who was
There was a lot of
producing? Who was
hands
writing that?
exactly
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
song.
I mean, just from the movie alone, that was
But that's what I'm saying. It was a movie song.
Yeah.
So there's for sure.
because you're getting soundtrack streams. You're getting like licensing, everything.
Just
from that.
or the money they had to even make the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just that initial bag was a lot, and then it's just everything else is
Yeah. So
cherry off of that.
no, but yeah. So I mean, congrats. But yeah, it went. I think it's the first song ever to do that. But
Yeah.
those kind of numbers are going to get broken just as
So that's my
the internet and stuff goes on.
Sadly, my computer's dead. What a noob move by me. But one of the things I was looking up that I wanted to speak about on this, and there's something I was thinking about last week, is that because we can now, and I was thinking about this from sports, and then that's how it comes. In sports now, a lot of the coaching comes from analytics, and they watch the players. A lot of like at least for footy, they have these
Oh, they have the suits.
the
on
little
with the
suits
dots,
on. Yeah. So they're always tracking every single thing on their performance, how far they run, their heart rate, their O2, and all that kind of stuff. And you can also then track other teams. They don't necessarily have their statistics, but you can track where they are on a heat map of the field and all that kind of stuff. And you can basically run that through an algorithm, and it'll tell you the best defense to play against this person, the best offense to play, when to push, when to following percentages. With music, I was reading it. You know this from theory, in terms of like, 120,
Oh,
4/4.
It's a science to music.
There's a science about it.
That's
And
why most dance music is at a certain BPM.
120, 130.
That's around a resting heart. Mm-hmm. It's intuitive. Like music is science.
And so now you have all these other analytics that can be run through, and you can literally create a song based off of everything in the past that you know it's going to be a hit song. So I just like Sunflower. I don't think they did that. I'm not saying that's the case, but
that one was organic. That was like Spider-Man, Post Malone, and Sway Lee, and the Youth just
converging. Okay, so
coming together.
Storm. Yeah, that was a perfect storm.
I want to know. Do you think Kanye used any sort of algorithms to make the music for Vultures? Your man's.
My man's.
Some say he's Marv.
No, because
he wouldn't have come up with those first 6 tracks.
No, because I've been watching more video of how they were recording it, and this is so Kanye how they were recording. Like they had like 50 people in the hotel room, and they were cutting vocals, like type shit. So I'm just like, it's so Kanye. Like before the fucking one of his listening parties, he had India Love cutting her vocals. She's on the second
Still
song.
just doing it like dang near real time.
Damn near
dropping it in.
Just dropping it in, like
so. What people listen at the listening party might not necessarily be like probably not the final track.
That, in that respect, that's why I fuck with Kanye, because there is no musical artist doing that. Maybe this becomes the new norm in 20 years.
You mean just like cutting it right there when they're doing it?
Yeah.
You don't think other people do that?
Not to this degree. I get it. DJs, yes. Live to mix, yes, but not
recording to playing in from.
I'm tracking your vocals right now, and we're gonna go perform this song in 5 minutes. And if the crowd doesn't react right, we're gonna change it. I don't think so.
I also don't think people don't have that cachet to be able to do that.
Sit and record in this stadium,
and then and then also if it sucks, be like, that's cool. We're just gonna do a different one.
And two, I don't think like at these listening parties, because it's a very exclusive crowd, right?
Well, people buy tickets; they're not exclusive.
Oh, okay.
No, the listening parties are at stadiums, but while he's cutting the records, it's exclusive.
Well, okay, so Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I bought tickets to see that video premiere at the Forum. And I'm assuming it's going to be something similar. That shit was like an hour and a half, 2 hours late. So it's like he's
working on.
I mean, not the video, obviously, but like
in that case, probably the video editing,
like or something. Just something.
Yeah, something. I don't think the video, but I think he's like
he could have been working on his
just anything,
his depression. I don't know.
Well, we've all heard like this verse barely made the album. For a while from different artists,
I mean, that's
been
that's been for a long time where people have the second version that you'll never hear, the alternate chorus that you didn't
or
hear.
They have the demo,
the one where so and so sang.
We know this has always been happening, but I feel like he's reverse engineering it to where instead of having a small intimate group of people review the music, he's like, let the world review it, and if they don't like it, we'll change it.
Which is crazy to me, because that means that he doesn't have really a feeling about his own music. Like, he's not going and being like, I love this. This is like where back in the day, I feel like he was like, I love this. This shit is hot.
That's what I was saying when I feel like now they're just making stadium music versus just making music that rocks a stadium. I feel like now they're trying to like AI the stadium sound. Like...
So he is like somewhat. He's kind of like doing like a manual algorithm.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
Don't get us copyright issues.
Exactly. Like it's a manual algorithm.
So because technically, so he's not so much like I was saying earlier, but he's like making music for like just as his artistic vision. But it seems like a less singular vision, and he's just getting reaction. So he's like almost like a manual algorithm in that people doesn't seem to be reacting to this. So like let's cut that part out, change that part. So he's not really making music for himself.
No, and I think that's why he has so many people on it.
So do you think he's like not as confident in his abilities? Like he's confident about himself, but maybe not confident about his music as much as he used to be?
That could be, and I also feel like he's just operating in a whole different space to where he feel like he's changed music, so now he can just kind of do whatever. Like I don't feel like he's chasing a number one. I don't feel like he's chasing any musical award.
Do you still think he's saying to himself, though, I'm the best?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's still saying that.
So that being said, on a 16-track album, 16-track album. I only made it through the first 6, which were ass garbage.
They were bad.
They were bad.
But the second half is so good.
So
Normally Like a Woman.
So 10 songs off the 16, are you saying are good?
I'm going to say 8 were great.
8 off the... So half the album?
Half the album's great.
You think on the half that sucks, he's still been like, this is great. This is great.
Because you got to think Northwest is on one of those songs.
I think I think that's crazy. Like, some personal opinion. I get it that Drake whatever did it with Adonis.
Beyonce did it with her daughter on tour.
Okay,
Had her dancing on the whole tour.
Yeah, that is true. She's older though, and no, maybe they're the same age, kind of, aren't they?
No,
She's
Blue Ivy's older.
Blue Ivy's older,
but she's not like old enough to even drive.
But I will say,
she's 16.
So my just take on it. That's bad parenting to have your child on the album, not because of anything with her, but because you get so much hate yourself to put your child that close to like I just think that's a selfish move on him.
Well, I mean, like you see how he does it, like how he's just like beefing with Kim about like, oh, you don't let me see my child, and she's like, you picked her up from school this morning or something like that, or
I feel
dropped
like
her
she
off.
just wanted to be on the album. He was just like,
she might have, but
I feel like
also
he was a
like
good dad and be like,
see that could be
that
could be a bad dad though.
Why?
Like because again, like
she don't have to listen to the world. The world sadly has to listen to Northwest.
You don't think that
you don't think that it will
get to her?
And stuff like that?
You don't think
it's
that
too far to get to her? She's in a whole different.
I don't think so.
Really,
she can still read comments.
Dude,
she's very much absorbed in social media.
Actors, artists, and sports people every single year report how they had to deal with depression because of some bad
I
thing.
get you, but she was born into it. It's not like she had to struggle at all. She was always.
It's still going to affect you. Well, no. But I'm saying, like, people being like this album sucks and your daughter sounds like shit. And
I think there's 100 people that are physically in front of her telling her a completely opposite thing.
So she doesn't have access to the internet.
Oh, she definitely does. But I'm saying, like, I feel like there's nannies, chefs, there's mad people around her at all times telling her 100% different things.
But then look at this, like
know.
the dissonance between like everybody says you're great in front of you in person, and then when you go online, because she's enmeshed in this, like we were saying from a young age, beyond just this being her being on the track. I think for both of you,
it's literally just her on a track saying how like she's Miss Westy. It's the track in totality is a great song for a father and a daughter.
Great album though.
I wouldn't say that, but if we're talking about this track, it's a cool father-daughter track.
How many tracks off of you? There was a lot of tracks on Utopia. How many of those did you like compared?
It's probably the same.
Think so?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a little more. I thought it was like 70%-ish. Not that that's that much of a thing.
Well, the thing is with Travis, he has the same thing with like Kanye. They'll have those like anthems that I don't like anthems. And those are normally like big songs. I fucked with Fiend though, and that was his anthem.
I didn't say that's his anthem.
Yeah, that's his anthem. And I fuck with that song. So
all right. Well, moving on. We talked about the Grammys a little bit. We got another big event coming up.
If you roll to the last one, that's still in the same realm because it
streaming.
Just human nature.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that. You guys, since I've been disconnected from society in general, this past week, why don't you guys tell me about Miss Bobby now? I guess
still misses.
Oh well, yeah, not for long.
Well,
right?
I think even after you could still be Mrs. Right?
After you're divorced,
I think if you keep the last name, you could still be Mrs. Right?
I don't think so. Oh wait, what was her original last name? Bobby Altoff is her like.
Her husband's
surname,
yeah, her husband's last name is Altoff.
So what's the story with her?
Oh, okay, so basically, it had been rumored, I don't know, maybe a year ago that they were separating or getting divorced right around the time she aired and did the Drake interview. And now it's come out that her husband is filed for divorce for irreconcilable differences. And that they've been separated since July, which coincidentally...
July last year. That's a long time. So that kind of has a lot to do with what you guys were just talking about being... Like, he's not in any sort of
Neither
public
of them
spotlight,
were.
but just having to deal with like the
her
publicity
now.
of her and her rise to fame, like that's got a lot to be dealing with, because she's probably not raising the kids anymore. It's maybe him and nannies, babysitters, whatever. So, I mean,
Well, it's like the roles in their household completely took a 180 in the matter of maybe, let's say, she had a fast rise. So I'll say a year.
well, yeah, because she was
I'll say a year.
at home mother, I believe, before.
She was making mom content on
Yeah.
TikTok, and she got a little, I wouldn't even say notoriety, but she got a little virality from the mom content, but nothing like where she is now. It wasn't even the catapult, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I could see how he would get, I don't know, to be honest. It sucks for them, but it is a whole different, like, she's out of here.
Yeah, well, because I mean, look at like when she was doing mom content, like that's probably she's not doing all these numbers. She's not having to
She's
do
in
public
the
appearances.
bathroom in their house filming.
Yeah,
you know,
and then
in the
like
mirror.
she's still around, and then I'm imagining
gone.
she's not there anymore. Like it's just
Well, because
like-
she signed with WME.
yeah, the family's being affected by her fame, and she's like, I think somebody who was not born into that or has not experienced that for a long time. That's a lot to deal with just on her behalf, I think.
That's why I can't blame either of them, right?
I mean, like
It's
it's
hard
totally
to-
understandable
it's
from
totally
both. And it's like, are you
understandable.
just gonna like, from her point of view, like, are you just gonna
Give up.
shirk all that income? Like, obviously, like the kids, they're even if they don't get to
Profiting.
see their mom, like their future is being secured, but at what cost? Financially, at least. Like I'm sure she's still securing, stuff for them.
Yeah.
But where does
Like you
where,
said,
where
she
does
was
that go? Like-
nursing and right before this type stuff.
But now it's like, oh, during these very important formative years, she's not there because she's the breadwinner. So, and then from his point of view, it's like, well, the kids need a mom, I need a wife. Like,
well, I think from
what is
his
this?
perspective, I think he was like in our realm would have been wealthy. Like he was. Already,
Oh, he was already well off.
yeah, I think he does. He had a couple books out. Like he wasn't like he was taking care of.
It wasn't a regular dude or something
It
like
wasn't
that.
like a regular dude. It's not I don't think he's a millionaire, but he's probably making a couple,
Comfortable.
couple $100,000 a year type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's just so fast because like all these streamers before, like generally, like people, unless you get a viral moment, like you just keep building and building and building, and then she went from like 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, it's just I can't put any blame on either of them. I could just it sucks, and I don't know if it even. I guess for the kids, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worse for the kids.
But it's like
I mean, they're young enough to where it's like, I think they'll probably get. I don't know. I don't think it'll be single custody.
what happens in. Do you think that's the normal story now? Because that's so funny. That's the same thing, basically. I started watching My Wife and Kids, and I watched the pilot. And that was basically the pilot of that show.
Who's My Wife and Kids?
Damon Wayans. And
Is that-
the wife from
Oh, that's like
Martin.
relatively new, right?
Newer.
Newer, like last 3-4 years or
No,
something?
no. It's older than that. 20
Oh.
years old, probably.
Oh, wait. Okay, I was thinking of a different show.
No, but that was the premise. Basically, he made a lot of money and was able to,
That was Tisha Campbell?
Tisha Campbell was
That
his
was
wife.
that was one of my first like
I know, she's still looking good.
on-screen
She's
crushes.
still looking good on that. That was probably like
crush.
the last scene where she was like role where she was still like skinnier because she got bigger. She got big on that show actually, like size wise. But like that was the thing is like he got all this money, and then because he got all the money and was able to get the house and stuff like that, she was able to go back to school and then chase her dreams she always wanted to chase. And then she started chasing her dreams, and it started like taking away time from the family and like why he even wanted to be home. That's basically the whole premise of the show. They go like to counseling and all type of shit.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm deep in the Grey's Anatomy thing, and one of the people in the show, Dr. Bailey, shout out, what's her name? I don't want to get it wrong, but like she's like a surgeon, and she's like, saving people's lives, but at
at
the cost
home,
her partner is like at home raising the kids. That's just his job. And like they just like
a lot of
he gets
drama
a divorce because she's getting this like other position within the hospital, and then like the husband gives this ultimatum like, if you do that,
I'm out
we're done. And then she's
so
like,
she chases the career, right?
yeah, she's like, well, like a marriage where you're giving ultimatums is not a marriage that you can depend on. It's not a confident, happy marriage. So it's like,
What do you think about
she
that?
dips. I mean, I really, I mean,
wouldn't
like,
say married. I was saying just a relationship.
giving ultimatums. Yeah. Like, I mean, I think, I would say, yeah, like when things are conditional, like love and support are conditional, that's not a healthy relationship. Like, kind of, you have to fit this image or whatever of how your partner sees you or how you should be. I mean, it's just like that leaves no room for growth or change. And like, you kind of have to stay this person with these qualities, or else, like, you know, I don't know. What do you think?
Pretty much with you, but then I see where that takes us as people.
I mean, because like I feel like a lot of times when
If
you get
start putting yourself before, like that's why I wouldn't say in a relationship is different. And in my head, marriage is different. You can't just, it's not just I no more.
yeah, you can't just bail for something you want to do.
You know what I mean? So that's where I kind of like get the gray waters.
Well, yeah, because I also think that when people like get into a serious relationship and then like even marriage, it's like, I think there's this preconceived idea like, oh, once we get married, we have to stay these same people that we are when we we're dating.
Yeah.
And then that's like that's kind of like a comfortable thing like this. We kind of have to stay in this bubble, but you know, people don't. I feel like I every few years, like I feel like I know so much more about myself, and I like my behavior changes, and so then I'm like, I think that's the same thing in a marriage or even just the relationship. It's like you have to be able to adapt to things like new jobs, new just like lifestyle choices, new behaviors and stuff, because like nobody stays the same.
So are we even conditioning ourselves to be in families or to be part of families? Or are we conditioning ourselves to be more individual and idealistic?
Well, that is like an American thing, is like such an emphasis on individualism is like in other countries still people don't marry for love. People marry for security. People marry for...
They stay married a lot longer and seem to have a lot more success. Right?
Yeah, I mean, like...
Right?
There are things where there's still prearranged marriages, and
that
like
still goes on,
and people, like, it works out for a lot of people. Like, people grow to love the person that they're end up being
I would just
married
say
to.
those numbers are higher than just regular people.
But then
finding their
also
wives
like
for staying together, because they still divorce, right?
It's not publicly acceptable, like,
Yeah,
but it's like pretty normalized. But in there, like, divorce is very taboo still. So, I mean, yeah, I think. It's hard because it's, I don't know. I think,
yeah, because I wouldn't say an ultimate. Yeah, I don't want to give like a, but then I wouldn't say an ultimatum. But there's some things that are just you won't tolerate, right? Is that an ultimatum?
I guess that's like also because I think like something that is, it depends, because if it's a lack of communication, if something's like, say we were married. And there was this behavior that you kept doing, but like I didn't communicate that to you, like saying like, oh, I don't like that you're doing this, and it goes on for 10 years, and be like, you've been doing this so long. But if I say that, and then you keep on doing it, then that's like that's not an ultimatum. That's like, you've been doing this, you're not going to change because you've been doing it for.
But
10,
I was just saying, in Grey's
years.
Anatomy, if the husband was just like, I don't think you should take promotion job, whatever, because it's going to affect us.
Yeah,
is that an ultimatum?
That specifically, but he has been saying like, you're never home. You're never like, you're not here to take care of the kids. I'm the one who's taking care of the kids. So you're not. So like, I could see it from his perspective. I'm like, that's why you never like marry like a doctor, especially watching the show. It's like they're on call like
all the time,
24/7. Like, you can't go out and like just get fucked up, because you can get called in at like 3 a.m. to do a surgery, and it's like,
but that's a firefighter. That's a cop.
not so much because it's like there's people, you know.
There's people there, yeah.
But like, yeah, firefighter, it's like
If there's a fire,
yeah, like, you know, fires don't run on schedules or anything. So it is like, it's crazy, like to be like, whether it's like, you know, to be a doctor, you're on call. To be a celebrity, you're always public facing. So like, even if that character you that persona you portray to the public is not you necessarily, if you're a celebrity or you're the public eye, you always have to, like, you don't have to, but like for your best interest of keeping this income flowing, you have to be this person at any moment. Like, you run into a fan, like,
got to turn it on, or you're that fan,
or you have to be grateful. You have to be like very, very,
because that does go further when people are like, I met this person, they were horrible to me, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We definitely hear about more than that. Than I met this person, they were great.
Yeah, I mean, things can change. Things can change.
But yeah, I feel bad, you know. But it is the way of the world. She's blowing up.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's been kind of quiet lately, or I don't know. I haven't followed her, or she's just doing other things.
No, it's just she's not in the hip hop realm. Like, she just did freaking Rainn Wilson.
Oh, so she's just diversifying.
She did Kiki.
Oh, she just did Sukihana too, and that's actually was really funny because I don't know if that was a troll or not.
Oh, the whole thing about
a musician. But I don't. Yeah, because she told Sukihana, she's like, "Oh, you're a musician," and I don't know if Sukihana was trolling or not, but she took it as she said magician
every time. She said
and
it.
She's like, "No, but you make music." She's like, "I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm no." But she said musician. She didn't say magician. Sukihana kept saying musician. She's like, I'm not a musician. So it's like, did she not know what the word meant?